Have you ever stopped to truly examine what motivates your decisions? Are you driven by a desire for personal gain or something greater? Hello, book lovers, and welcome back to A's Book Talk. Today, we're diving into a work that challenges us to consider the very foundation of our moral compass, John Stuart Mill's Utilitarianism. John Stuart Mill, a towering figure of 19th century thought, was a philosopher, economist, and social reformer. He was deeply influenced by the intellectual climate of his time, a period marked by rapid industrialization, social upheaval, and the rise of new scientific and philosophical ideas. Born in 1806, Mill was subjected to a rigorous education by his father, James Mill, a prominent historian and philosopher himself, and a staunch advocate of Jeremy Bentham's utilitarianism. Mill's early life was an experiment in intellectual development, designed to mold him into a champion of rational thought and social progress. However, this intense upbringing also took its toll, leading to a period of mental crisis in his 20s. This experience profoundly shaped his later work, causing him to temper the more rigid aspects of Bentham's utilitarianism with a greater appreciation for individual liberty and the importance of emotions and aesthetic experience. Utilitarianism, published in 1863, presents Mill's refined perspective on this influential ethical theory. The core principle is that actions are right in proportion as they tend to promote happiness, wrong as they tend to produce the reverse of happiness. But what exactly does Mill mean by happiness? It's not simply fleeting pleasure, but rather a state of overall well-being, encompassing both physical and mental satisfaction. Mill dedicates a significant portion of the book to defending utilitarianism against common criticisms. One frequent objection is that it's a doctrine worthy only of swine, suggesting that reducing morality to the pursuit of pleasure is degrading to human beings. Mill counters this by distinguishing between higher and lower pleasures. He argues that intellectual and aesthetic pleasures are inherently more valuable than purely sensual ones. He famously states, "It is better to be a human being dissatisfied than a pig satisfied, better to be Socrates dissatisfied than a fool satisfied." This assertion highlights his belief that the capacity for higher-level thinking and feeling elevates human experience above mere animalistic gratification. Another criticism Mill addresses is the claim that utilitarianism is impractical. How can we possibly calculate the consequences of every action to determine whether it will maximize overall happiness? Mill responds by arguing that we don't start from scratch with every decision. We can rely on the accumulated wisdom of past experiences and established moral rules to guide our actions. These rules, though not absolute, provide a useful framework for promoting general well-being. He also emphasizes the importance of education and the development of moral character, which can instill in individuals a natural inclination to act in ways that benefit others. Mill also grapples with the challenge of reconciling individual rights with the principle of utility. He acknowledges that maximizing overall happiness sometimes requires sacrificing the interests of particular individuals. However, he argues that protecting individual rights is, in the long run, essential for promoting overall well-being. In the long, essential for the a society that consistently violates the rights of its citizens is unlikely to be a happy or prosperous one. Mill's work advocates for a system of laws and institutions that safeguard individual liberties, ensuring that everyone has the opportunity to pursue their own happiness within reasonable limits. Mill's utilitarianism isn't just about maximizing pleasure, It's about promoting the greatest good for the greatest number, taking into account the quality of those experiences and the long-term consequences of our actions. It requires us to consider the well-being of others and to strive for a society that is both just and compassionate. So, what can we learn from Mill's utilitarianism today? Firstly, it encourages us to think critically about our own values and motivations. Are we truly pursuing happiness, or are we simply chasing fleeting pleasures? Secondly, it reminds us of our responsibility to consider the well-being of others. Our actions have consequences, and we should strive to make choices that benefit not only ourselves, but also the wider community. Thirdly, it underscores the importance of individual rights and liberties as essential components of a happy and flourishing society. Ultimately, utilitarianism invites us to engage in a continuous process of moral reflection and to strive for a world where everyone has the opportunity to live a fulfilling and meaningful life. It reminds us that happiness is not simply a matter of personal gratification, but a collective endeavor that requires empathy, reason, and a commitment to the common good. Thanks for joining me on this exploration of Mill's thought-provoking work. If you found this discussion insightful, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more book recommendations. Let me know in the comments what ethical dilemmas you grapple with in your daily life. Until next time, happy reading